Okay, so I'm back, and as I promised, and this is so really off the cuff, unprofessional. Well, clearly by my videos, I'm not a professional, but so maybe I get some tips from my oldest child. He works for audiovisual technology. You'd be quite probably embarrassed to see my setup right now. So anyway, this is my daily protein shake. Try to drink every day. Even if I have to crawl to the kitchen and try to get it made, I try and do that. Of course, I have to have the ingredients to be able to do that. And this process put me on disability, led to food stamps. They usually run out before I can get more food. So I was able to get food on the 9th, was too sick until the 11th, which is what, yesterday? What did I say? No, Sunday. Okay, so anyway, but now I have some food already made. I make 2 days worth. So you really need a Ninja or comparable type blender. I'd already had this one for a while because I don't think a regular blender is really going to work. So I'm not going to be making it right now because, but I'm just going to kind of go over with you guys what I do. I keep a pitcher of filtered water, so it's ice cold water in the refrigerator, and I will put about 3 cups of water in my Ninja blender here, and I then add, I'm sorry, this is crazy, I just set this up really quick. This is Garden of Life raw organic protein powder. I buy it at Vitamin Shop, and it's vanilla flavored. So this is gluten-free and dairy-free and all of that stuff. So this is the best one I've found as far as the amino acids, just everything that it has in it and what it doesn't have in it. So I guess I should have prefaced this by saying that I took the advice of a lot of people when I was beginning this process as far as diet. No gluten, no dairy, no sugar, no caffeine, and no alcohol. I ate really healthy for the most part, and so it wasn't overly difficult for me except for gluten and sugar. Yeah, kind of the two big ones. I'm a sweets person. But once you get sugar out of your system, it's amazing how your mouth doesn't start watering when you're walking through the Kroger bakery like it used to. It's like, whatever. So and that usually takes 2 or 3 weeks, and you might go through some withdrawal if you're used to a lot of sugar. So, but within limitations anyway. So those are my 5 basic things I try to stick to as close as possible. So back to the shake that is so important to me. This is about a 30-ounce container. I try to drink this every day. And I add the 3 cups of water, ice cold water. I'll then add 2 scoops, because I'm making enough for 2 days, so I add 2 scoops of the protein powder. I put this is like a coffee measuring spoon. This is flaxseed powder, so I will use, because this is the ground, I put 2 of these in. And then this is chia seeds. These are whole chia seeds, so I just put in 1 coffee measure spoon of the chia seeds. And if it was the ground, then I'd probably go ahead and put in 2. And those are organic also. Organic when you can on things like that. When I'm making a salad, if I buy a cucumber, I don't worry as much about it being organic. I learned that from Dr. Oz. If you're going to peel with that thick skin, when you peel it away, you're going to peel away a lot of those pesticides or stuff in it. Of course, the non-GMO thing is a whole nother story, but so you don't really know about that, but at least you know you're peeling away a lot of stuff that that might be on the food. Whereas with berries and things like this, you can't really do that. So I try to get organic. So I'll put in the water, I'll add my powder, add my flaxseed, my chia seed. I then, I love the almond coconut milk. I stick to only Silk brand. If you read the ingredients on even things like this, you can find a difference. There might be a better one. I personally can't afford to go to Whole Foods, places like that. So I buy this kind of stuff at Walmart, Kroger. There's a protein, Silk makes a protein one now. It does have a little bit of sugar, but I keep that in my refrigerator too, and I usually mix it half and half. So, so then I add a cup of almond coconut milk and a cup of protein milk, or 2 cups of this one, or 2 cups of protein milk, whatever. The protein milk is much, much higher in calories, so if that's something you're concerned about right now. A lot of us aren't concerned about anything except just surviving this, and I totally get that. But, so anyway, then I pack it. This is organic baby spinach. Okay, I do buy organic spinach because, again, I can't peel anything away here. So I want organic when I use my spinach, because I literally will pack in, when I make mine for 2 days, this is literally how much, like I'll put in this much of a handful, put it in the blender, and then I do it again. So basically for each day, in this cup that you see right here, that's how much spinach is in here. Some of you might be going, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Actually, the great thing about spinach is that it really doesn't have any taste. Cooked spinach, no, I don't do cooked spinach. Raw spinach doesn't really have any taste. When you have a spinach salad, it's the egg and the nuts and the mandarin oranges or the mushroom and all that together, and the dressing that makes it, oh, this is a yummy spinach salad. But plain spinach really doesn't have any taste. So you can pack it in there. And then I will then add frozen strawberries. So, because just spinach, it's going to taste pretty bland. I then add frozen strawberries. I don't always buy, in fact, a lot of times I don't buy organic frozen strawberries because they are much, much pricier. But, so if I can, I can, but I don't worry so much about everything being organic, and you'll see that in a minute. And, but the spinach, because I use so much of it, so, but anyway, and then I'll put in 2 cups of frozen strawberries. I like to stick to strawberries because they're one of the berries that are lower in natural sugars. I like the triple berry, but I read labels pretty much on everything and try to stick to what's lowest, even in natural sugar. And so yeah, mine is really simple. If you guys might make shakes with all kinds of stuff. You like the taste of kale and stuff. I don't personally, or other stuff, or you want to add, or you take away. But mine is basically actually very simple. It's just the protein powder, the flax seed, the chia seed, the almond milk, the spinach, and frozen strawberries. And with a really good blender, a Ninja, and that way I'll have one that's ready, and then one that will be ready in the fridge for the next day. A lot of times there's some extra for a small one, and for a third day, especially if you don't feel like or have the stuff to make it another particular day. So that's my shake. I'm actually still drinking this because I got a very late start on drinking it, and if I seem a little jittery, it's because actually I am. I'm not gonna lie. It's just how we get. So put that over here. All right, come back. As far as supplements, I used to go crazy in the beginning. My ex and I, we were buying everything you could think of. GABA this, this, anything and everything. Hundreds of dollars we were spending. I have even tried cannabis, the cannabis oil that you can buy at a health food store, even here in Georgia. I don't recommend it, but it does help some people, especially I think maybe if you're already through the process, or maybe you had more anxiety issues to begin with. I don't know. It's very expensive, but hey, I was willing to try anything. So, but what I found out and what I read more is supplements. You need to be really careful with what supplements you're taking, especially herbal type supplements. So just do your research is all I can say. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I've learned from experience and from me. So the only supplements I take is a calcium, and I have arthritis, so I do take a really good glucosamine conjoined, however you say that, MSM, you know, the one that's got all the 3 things in it, and 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. I'm doing a lot of advertisement for the vitamin shop here, so I should get a little kickback here. I take a digestive enzyme before I eat any meal. I think that's really, really important because there's a lot of intestinal issues that go along with this, and so your food can get processed properly. These are also not cheap, but I have found them so worth it, and as well as a very, very good probiotic. This is one that you keep in the refrigerator. It's by Renew Life Ultimate Flora. Your probiotic is supposed to have, I believe, at least a minimum of 80 billion cultures and 14 different strains. So look for that when you're looking for a probiotic. You will have to pay more for that, but I believe it is absolutely so worth it. And I take selenium for healthy liver function, and a fish oil capsule, omega-3 oil capsule, which I'm actually out of right now. That's the only supplements that I take. And I recently had my doctor do a full blood work on me. I just wanted to know what, with everything, and what I might be deficient in, or if I was just looked like a mess. And he said my blood work couldn't have been more perfect, he said. So I felt really good about that, because I had a member of my family criticizing me, the way I was eating, that she thought that was making me sicker. Doesn't make sense that eating healthy could make you sicker. I actually am showing you guys this because I think that I would not be having as many days of functioning, days of when I do get out. Especially considering that I've gone from 40 mil, after 17 years of Klonopin, cold turkey 2 months, then 40 milligrams of Valium, and now I'm down to 7.5 milligrams of Valium, and it has been hell, and it still is. But I have days where I can get out. I have days where I could manage to go to dinner with someone, if I was ever to have an invite, or something like that, you know. So I made it to my grandson's first birthday party on December 2nd. And, you know, things like that. Doesn't mean you feel normal when you're there, but you can hide it. You can act, you can laugh, you can cut up, kind of acting like I am now. Even though you might kind of feel like you're coming unglued a little bit. So that's supplements, that's my shake. I try to keep a protein snack readily available. So hard-boiled eggs, these are also organic. Yes, they're more expensive, taste, health-wise, and I just feel better about, and I want free-range, cage-free eggs. I try to keep some of those in the refrigerator at all times. Don't let yourself get hungry. That can increase anxiety. And I switched from peanut butter to almond butter. I do keep peanut butter in case when I run out and I'm desperate, because that's kind of what I lived on for the last, when I didn't have any food here a few days ago, was peanut butter. But I do try to buy one with no hydrogenated oil. I won't buy those kind you have to stir. I'm not gonna if the oil separates at the top, I don't buy that. But you can buy like an all natural, you know, one like even Jeff makes one that to me is, you know, I don't feel bad eating that, but I do. But almond butter for me seems to agree with me better, and I believe it's a much healthier alternative. Again, more expensive. But I don't buy a lot of stuff. I basically live off salads. I keep spring mix, organic spring mix in my refrigerator. I basically live off salads and my protein shake. But I don't eat completely clean. Someone told me you should only be shopping in the produce and the meat department. Not gonna happen. Not with me. First of all, I'm by myself. That's more likely that you're going to need to cook and stuff. I'm usually either too sick to cook, or I'm just not up to cooking. I don't want to cook. I'm too in despair to cook, or all the reasons, you know. And I'm by myself, so you know, like what, you know, and I make a big pot of stew for myself. I don't know. It's just I've been in this apartment for 10 months now. I have cooked hard-boiled eggs. Scrambled eggs. I keep a thing of liquid egg whites as well. Eggs and a frozen gluten-free vegan pizza. You know, a few times or whatever. That's pretty been the extent of my cooking. It's not that I can't cook. I'm actually a good cook. I just haven't. And a lot of my videos surely express why. With your, I do buy only Simply Fruit jam. I keep things like, these are gluten-free Good Thins veggie thins with some avocado dip. It's already pre-made at the grocery store, when I just need a little snack and feel hungry. And this is my treat I have in the evening. I buy Kind breakfast bars, and they, are low in sugar. They're gluten-free, dairy-free. They're non-GMO. Blah blah blah. But some people will still say they're processed. It's packaged. Sue me. Okay, so we got to have something. So and at night I'll put one in the microwave, soften it up a little bit, put some almond butter on it. Might put a little stevia. I only use organic stevia for sweetener. And let's see, what else? I gave up, I did switch to organic decaffeinated coffee, but coffee is very acidic, and I just decided to switch to, actually been drinking decaffeinated chai tea with some ground lemon granules in it. You can buy those little packs of the lemon granules, and which I put in my water too, because that's very alkaline and good for your system. Lemon is. So what else? Oh, I was going to show you this, guys, too. So even things like this with ketchup, I buy reduced sugar ketchup. And because I'm one of those people, you guys know that Train song, that if you're familiar with the band Train, I love Train. And they've got that song that says, I like ketchup on my scrambled eggs, and everybody thinks that's funny. I don't get mad. Well, anyway, I'm sorry, that was really bad. But I'm one of those people, I like ketchup on my scrambled eggs, and everybody thinks it's funny, and I don't get mad. So, so I keep, stuff like that, But I just try to buy a healthier alternative. I usually have some plain Cheerios, and that I'll keep around, and just try to avoid the high sugar cereals and snacks and stuff like that. Also, like I said, I do have a sweet tooth. It's nothing like it used to be anymore, but sometimes I just want some chocolate. I mean, if you can relate. I think probably some of you guys can relate. So I buy, and a lot of people will say, oh, well, that's sugar-free, what is it sweetened with, I definitely try to make sure I don't buy anything with sweetened with aspartame. Anyway, but I'll keep these around. These are sugar-free dark chocolate Hershey's, individually wrapped, so when I just really want something, I have one of these, and I don't feel bad about it. If I have two, I don't feel bad about it. I don't ever eat more than two in a day, I will say that. They're really good with a little almond butter or peanut butter on them, and I'm good. There was a time where that wouldn't have been enough. I'm a, junior mint girl, but also if you have issues with acid reflux, which I do, that affected my voice, my singing voice years ago. It was cracking and squeaking all the time. I didn't know why. I went to the doctor. They put that tube up your nose, down your throat, and look at your vocal cords, make those little squeaky noises. Come to find out, he said, you're frying your vocal cords with acid reflux. I didn't even know what that was at the time. And because foods like chocolate and peppermint, there's a muscle here in your abdomen that holds down the acid. When you eat those foods, it relaxes the muscle, and the acid comes up. So that's why chocolate and peppermint, acidic foods, like coffee. So even decaffeinated coffee is high in acid. And so that's why I just decided to just do away with coffee altogether. But like I said, this is me. This is me. There are certain things that you just can't give up, and that's why. And I'm that way. That's why I'm not going to just shop in the produce department or the meat department. I mean, this is hard enough without there's days where I don't want to live anymore, and I think, well, might as well go out with a cheesecake or something. Or I just want to sit down with a bag of, Chips Ahoy cookies or something and not care. But, that's why when I get in those kind of moods, I just try to keep something that's going to keep me from from doing that. But anything like that, if I eat a row of Oreos one day, and then okay, it's if it didn't trigger a wave, then I'll go back and get back on track the next day. There are foods that do trigger waves. So I've read stories where people said they couldn't eat garbanzo beans. They would have a serious wave after eating garbanzo beans. So I don't have all the answers to that. I can't explain it. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. It's the reason I keep protein and stuff is because it's pretty important to try to eat half your body weight or whatever like your normal body weight is. I'm pretty much right now I'm close to my normal body weight. About half your body weight in protein, and try to drink half your body weight in water a day or more if you can. And I try to do that. I always have a glass of water. First thing in the morning, I put my lemon granules in, and with my tea, and I make sure, first thing in the morning, I've at least had one huge glass of water. Try to get in as much water as you can. And let me see. I'm embarrassed to open my fridge because there's probably hardly anything in there. See if there's anything else I need to tell you. Don't really think so. And then I'll keep stuff like this. Progresso now has organic soup, and so I'll sometimes I just have this for dinner. And some of you guys might be saying, yeah, that's pretty expensive, but I don't. This is pretty much all I buy. So I'm not buying a ton of other stuff. This is pretty much how I live. And so I don't feel bad about using, my means of being able to buy groceries to buy healthier alternatives. I'm not buying $10 steaks. I'm not buying, tons of junk food or stuff that I really don't need. So it's all healthy stuff. You can't buy your protein powder and flaxseed and all that, with an EBT card. But it took a really good friend of mine to talk me into even applying for that because I was too humble, and I felt like it was almost cheating because I do have to buy things that cost more money, or I choose to. And she reminded me, because we used to work at Sam's Club together, and she reminded me how they abuse those cards. And she reminded me, she said, Shelley, you're trying to take care of yourself. You're not abusing the system. You're not abusing how how people do. So and I'm not. I'm just trying to stay as healthy as I can. Exercise, as my one before this said, without pushing it, which is really hard for me. And so I think that's pretty much about everything. Oh, this is pure lavender oil, and make it like just like a quarter cup of water, and this is the kind that has the eyedropper. So this is the kind you can drink. So like when I'm feeling like I am right now, I'll put a little in some water and drink that. You can get it in capsules, but the capsules to me are terrible because you kind of burp them, belching. I hate to talk about that, but throughout the day it's terrible. This you can drink it, you don't taste it again during the day, so that's helpful. And then I use the other lavender oil, the non-ingestible one. At night I put it all over my pillow. It really does help. It really is what they say about lavender. It's very calming. It's very soothing. So I dump it in my hand and I put it all over my pillow. Your essential oils should always be in a dark bottle, and preferably probably from a health food store. But just read the label, make sure it's pure, and they should always be in a dark bottle. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I just want you guys to know that I just wanted to finally do this while I was had a day where I was well enough to do it. I'm supposed to be at an oral surgeon's office in the morning. I'm praying I can make that appointment as well. And I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I know it's very just kind of casual and whatever. I know there's going to be a lot of critics as far as this goes, and a lot of, no, you shouldn't do that, or that's ridiculous to go that far. I respect what everybody has to do. I'm just telling you what I feel is working best for me to to have some days where, where I can function. But with that said, I don't make any promises, and I'm gonna try not to get choked up when I say this. I was having a really horrific episode a few months back, and one of those where you're begging God to just just please. And my son was on the other end of the phone. Actually, he was messaging me, and he couldn't be here for whatever reason, but he asked me to promise him that I would not hurt myself. I never made that promise. It's a promise I will make to no one. And I can't even make that promise to God as much as I want to, because this is a horrific, unfathomable process. Something that none of us ever imagined we'd be in or be going through. So I am a person that likes to keep my word. I don't want to make promises to anyone that I can't keep. I don't want to say that I'll email you and then realize I've forgotten, because then I feel terrible. I want to keep my word. I want to keep my promises. So that was one I told him I could not make. It's one I won't make to anybody, because I don't know from day to day. I can't say it. All I can do is continue to pray. I talk to God a lot again, and I contribute my strength from God, trying to make the right choices, trying to be smarter with a lot of things. Emotionally, I'm not in the best place because of, family, lack of friends as far as that are here. Still no one, 10 months, no one's come to my door except my downstairs neighbor that I met her when I moved in, and my youngest son. But he hasn't been here in a very long time. So it's, oh my gosh, it's unbelievably hard, but you kind of also have to be like, you know what? If everybody expects me to survive this on my own, if everybody wants to, hey, go get them, mom, sis, friend, whatever, countryman, onward. So you guys know what I'm saying. Now I'm just being silly. It's like, okay, so be it. I have two favorite things. It's like, it is what it is, and so be it. And if I make it, glory to God. And if I don't, it won't be God's fault. I wouldn't blame it on anybody except the benzodiazepine process. But what I will say is, to everybody out there who says that they love me, benzodiazepines destroy the brain. That's documented fact. We know that. This is not a mental illness. This is an illness of the brain caused by destruction due to a medication that, to me, should not even still be prescribed. It makes me sick to my stomach that it is. But benzodiazepines destroy the brain. Family and friends can rip your heart out. The two of those combined can be lethal. So, one alone can be lethal, just on it alone. And so I should have said that to begin with. Acute benzodiazepine withdrawal syndrome can be lethal on its own, whether it's seizures, whether it's with suicide. You combine those two together, and your chances of survival kind of go down a little bit. You got to fight even harder. And it's a fight like you never imagined you'd be in. But people are going through a lot of different things that they never thought they'd be in, with illness, with disease. And like I said before, I'm not angry. I don't ever get angry at God. I don't say, why me, as far as getting sick. But you know what? Yes. Am I mad because I'm someone who's always taken good care of myself. I've ran marathons. I've always eaten basically healthy. I've always prided myself on that I took care of myself. God gave me this body, and I believe that we're supposed to take care of it. And yes, so it makes me angry that all these years ago, doctors gave me something that, and over the years that they were discovering what it was doing, but, and nobody told us what was happening at every time we took one of those pills. So that makes me angry, because I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day, with the awareness that, I really should cut back to 2 packs and try to get off this, because, I could get cancer from this. I was taking something for sleep to fall asleep. That my doctor said, oh, it's going to relax you, help you sleep, so you won't need to take more Ambien, which they put me on to begin with. So that makes me angry. And some people might say, well, why didn't you do your research and find this all out yourself? Well, the thing back, you got to remember, 18 years ago, they weren't even putting those little inserts in the envelopes. So, for the side effects. And then when they started doing that, well, I mean, you've been on something for years, and yes, they've had to bump up the dose, but, your doctor's never told you anything harmful about it, and you've been on it forever, so why would you think that all of a sudden you needed to research it? So for people out there who criticize us and say, yeah, well, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that, and maybe you would have known, I wish I'd had the information out there that people have now, and that's why I want to keep putting it out there. And so, yeah, there's those inserts, but when you're on an antibiotic or you're on a pain medication for you've hurt your back or whatever, how many people really get out those inserts and read all those lists of disclaimers about the drug? But years ago they didn't even do that. So and I don't know about you guys, but I'm not seeing any benzodiazepine commercials. That this drug is being prescribed to this, but side effects may include blah 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 blah, destruction of your life. I haven't seen that commercial yet, so the judgment needs to stop as far as that goes. And I think I can't even see what time I've gone to. I've probably gone way too long now, and I don't want to be presumptuous when you guys see that, oh, Shelly's got a 30-minute video, and she just is presuming that we just all have all this time out of our day to watch her videos. If you do, great. I know some of you will. If you don't have time or you have to watch it in pieces, that's great. I understand. Believe me, I do understand. But hopefully, I hope this helps a little bit. That's all we can do, right? Is just do whatever we can to try to help each other. And I'm so grateful for you guys. You guys save my life most days, and so I'm really, really grateful. And hope you'll follow me. Like I said, Shell_John on Twitter and Instagram if you'd like to know a little bit more personal about my life. I am on Facebook. I just don't get on there that often because it was causing me a lot of grief and stuff. But I do post stuff on Facebook as well. So okay, all right. I'm sure this is really long. I'll try to upload it now. And be blessed, you guys. I don't like to say things like hang in there, be strong, and all of that, because I know it's tough to hear all that. You feel like you've heard it so many times. It's hard to know what to say anymore. Just know that my love and prayers go out to all of you guys, and I thank you so much for what you've given to me. God bless.